The Small Town Life. Before 8 o'clock, the streets of Broken Bridge Town were actually a vegetable market, smelling from end to end. As soon as 8 o'clock passed, the other side of the street immediately revealed itself, becoming clean and regular. There are no commands. But everyday life forms its own commands, almost ironclad and thunderous. The tannoy in the middle school began to chime. Tick! It was a moment of immense solemnity. Beijing time, 8 o'clock. Beijing time, which is distant, intimate, and sacred, implies the unified will and the planned and disciplined life of the whole nation. It is not only for the people of Beijing, but equally for the whole country. Chairman Mao, his old man, is already on the Tiananmen Square citadel, taking care of everything. The time for arguing, messing, and bargaining in the small town is over. The sunlight dips and shines on the street, and the greenstone pavement overflows the reflection of the morning sun, red. A small moment of peace, even silence, envelopes the street at this time as if it is a necessary brew. Then the gates of the grocery stores open, the gates of the supply cooperative open, the post offices, the credit unions, the communal offices, the hospitals, the agricultural tool factories, the ironworks societies, the grain management offices, the grain purchasing stations, the portering stations, the cultural stations, the pig purchasing stations. In a word, all the units related to the nation slowly open their big iron gates. The street is no longer a food market, but a part of the state, which begins to exercise the functions and powers of the state. In the process of opening all the gates together, there is a quiet ceremony on the street, which is, of course, imperceptible to the townspeople, and brings with it an atmosphere of laziness and casualness, yet a little bit of solemnity and seriousness. By this time, a new day is considered to have officially begun. Every morning at 8 o'clock, exactly 8, Guo Jiaxing punctually comes to the office. He sits down, makes a good tea, crosses his legs, and begins to read the 2 newspapers and 1 magazine, word by word. It's almost a research. Guo Jiaxing sits in his office all day, but in reality, every day is in Beijing. He follows every move in Beijing. For example, in the leading comrades whose names have moved forward and whose names have moved backward, this absolutely cannot be ignored. For example, last year there were 7 leaders accompanying Prince Norodom Sihanouk in total, but this year changed 3. From the newspaper a few days ago, 1 went to Tanzania, 1 was in Inner Mongolia, having cordial conversations with the herdsman. The other one, unknown. Guo Jiaxing always put the name of the unknown person in his heart silently for dozens of days. If the time is too long, Guo Jiaxing mentions this matter with several leaders of the commune. The tone is quite solemn. Someone has not come out for a long time. Until the next newspaper appeared, someone's name or photo, Guo Jiaxing cannot rest assured and inform other comrades of this news. Guo Jiaxing used to regard the names in the 2 newspapers and 1 magazine as countries. Being concerned about them, in fact, is concerned about the country. Guo Jiaxing is so concerned, not ambitious, or wants to climb up. Nope, he is not. Guo Jiaxing is not like this. Being a leader like him, as long as he doesn't make directional errors, and being able to stay in the commune authority for life, makes Guo Jiaxing his own content, and very satisfied. Guo Jiaxing is just habitual years of development into a nature, so every day is the same. Guo Jiaxing does not care about others, does not care about himself, only accustomed to the motherland, while looking at the world. Guo Jiaxing looks down on living and death. Ordinary oil and salt are not mentioned. Those are trivial matters, quite cheap and meaningless. But Guo Jiaxing recent days are chained by the trivial things. A little bit cannot extricate himself. The thing was triggered by another deputy director of the Revolutionary Committee. The deputy director saw Yumi once, made fun of Guo Jiaxing, and said, "Middle-aged man have 3 fire, promotion, wealth, and death of his wife." Director Guo caught up. This is an old saying, passed down from the old society. The tone is quite unhealthy. The words reached Guo Jiaxing's ears. Guo Jiaxing was very unhappy. However, Guo Jiaxing tasted again and privately felt that the general meaning was still accurate. Guo Jiaxing was not promoted and got no wealth, but his wife died. Technically, Guo Jiaxing should have a dirty face. Out of Guo Jiaxing's own expectations. No, but young, spiritual, sharp, and fire. Because what? Because of the death of his wife. The old is gone, but the new has come. Not only that, but also the bride's age can actually be his daughter. Beautiful, skin smooth as satin. Guo Jiaxing does not say, but he is aware, as his pleasure is actually still from the bed, from Yumi's body. Looking back at it, Guo Jiaxing had been quite lazy about sex in recent years. They were an old couple and they were familiar with each other. Every time they were like a meeting, they first decorated the venue, then started the meeting, then gave a report, and then closed. It seemed of great significance, but in fact, it was tasteless. His wife was terminally ill, so the meeting was actually closed. To elaborate, Guo Jiaxing had not had sex for a year or 2. Fortunately, Guo Jiaxing was not greedy or addicted to it, so he quit it as nothing. Who would have expected that a dead tree would be in spring again and an iron tree would blossom again? Guo Jiaxing himself couldn't believe that at his age he was even more energetic. Eventually, because Yumi, this girl, is good, she is attentive and flattering in bed. Yumi is not only attentive and flattering, but also very considerate. If Guo Jiaxing is too greedy, Yumi would put Guo Jiaxing's head on her breast and enlighten Guo Jiaxing, saying, "Be careful of your health, and the slow flow of water lasts forever. Such an ugly wife, are you afraid others to snatch away? What should I do if you're lacking health? I have nothing left." After saying this, Yumi couldn't help but shed tears. She felt a little sad, but not sorrow. It was very touching. Guo Jiaxing felt strange. He didn't even think about it. But now that Yumi was here, he wanted again. As soon as Guo Jiaxing wanted, of course, Yumi couldn't stop him. She could only cooperate with him with all her strength, flatter him with all her strength. And her whole body was covered in sweat. The bed was sweat. Yumi herself couldn't figure out why she was sweating profusely as soon as she had sex. Yumi was very struggling, but later she said, "You can go find a woman outside. I really can't take care of you by myself." Yumi's words contradicted the previous meaning. However, pillow words cannot be measured by common sense. Guo Jiaxing loves to listen. Guo Jiaxing, who is over 50 years old, especially likes this sentence. This sentence expresses the meaning that Guo Jiaxing is not old, he is still in his prime years. To rejuvenate his youth in bed, Guo Jiaxing has quietly started practicing push-ups. At first, there was barely 1, but now there are 4 or 5. If he continues this and persists until the end of the year, more than 20 will definitely not be a problem.